Hello, hello, here we go. It's the Kopite podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Kopite podcast. I'm joined as usual by Jay, little Jay. How you doing, lad?
I'm alright, mate. Yeah. I'm good. Footy's back. We're doing a match preview. I can't fucking believe it.
Yeah, and we're joined once again by Ross, resident football pundit / expert / 17th.
That was a lovely ego boost in that tweet last night. That's just the lift I needed yesterday.
Yeah, that was me. I've done it all for you, lad. I'm always doing things for you. Always there for you, lad.
Thank you.
Anyway, we'll crack on with the events of yesterday. Obviously, Premier League came back. Sheffield United versus Aston Villa. It wasn't the big prime time game we were all hoping it was going to be, a shitty 0-0. But Jesus Christ, what happened with that goal? That never was.
Fucking didn't I? I did say yesterday it'd be 0-0 after all this fucking build up and it was 0-0. But yeah, I can't.
It wasn't 0-0, was it? It shouldn't have been.
Technically, yeah. Can't believe 40 minutes into the first game back and it's controversy already. But fucking hell, it was a goal, wasn't it? Jesus.
It's mad the fact that we all moaned and we're all guilty of moaning about VAR when it was around, and it felt like football's back now. VAR's not working or goal line technology's not working. Those conversations that we've not had for 3 months of now, I'm saying, this went wrong, that went wrong, what happened in that game? We've not been able to do that, and as much as a pain in the arse VAR is, I like having these conversations with people again.
Yeah, it's just mad. I seen something, the keeper was blocking the system or something like that. And they put a statement out saying it's never happened once, and then obviously the first game back it happens. It seems a bit coincidental, doesn't it? That I don't know if Michael Alder was wearing his Fitbit still, or
there was 7 cameras that never picked it up, but also there's linesmen, 4 officials, the referee, and the fact that they never went to VAR to go and check it out because apparently they trusted goal line technology. It makes you think, doesn't it, of how much they rely on technology. And I think, a couple of people say common sense, but the massive thing is when it comes down to August, Aston Villa have picked up a point there, which they probably shouldn't have had. And if it comes down to, a point in the last game of the season and Aston Villa stay up, if you're one of them other teams, you're going to be fuming. Well, Sheffield United should be as well because they're on the cusp of potentially getting Champions League football or definitely European football. It's 2 points dropped in their eyes. So where's the repercussions? I saw a tweet from, I think it was Charlie Austin, who's been quite vocal before when referees make mistakes. And I agree with him. Not referees coming out and explaining every decision they've made. But where is it I think there'd be a better relationship between players, fans, and referees. Because whichever way you look at it now, referees get shit. If they came out and gone listen, hands up, we did this, it was wrong. It's a bit like politicians. You'd be angry if you just admitted to the mistakes. Be less angry than they were if you just lied to you and kind of went, it doesn't matter. So there's going to be frustrations that come towards the end of the season, and it'll pinpoint towards this game. And especially with Aston Villa as well, the fact that they were involved in that thing with Leeds last season. Was it last season? Or the season before? Do you know when the Leeds player went down or Villa player went down for a free kick and then Leeds scored and made Leeds go and let them score a goal or whatever it was? There's people at our time going just let Sheffield United score a goal, but mad one.
Yeah, I think that would have made sense, really, wouldn't it? Like Ross just said, I think Sheffield United would have went 1 point ahead of Man United in the league table. So that is for them, for how well they've done, for that slice of luck to go against them is cruel, isn't it, Jake? It is really, really bad in that respect.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for them because do you remember years ago when Neil Warnock kicked off about the penalty that we had against him at Bramall Lane at the beginning of the 07 season, and that was drop points, and even when they got relegated, he went back to that incident. And I was thinking at the time, just get over it. You had another 37 games to fucking get as many points as you want. But right now with the break and like you said, how well they're playing, that is so unfortunate for Sheffield. I think we're all getting in sort of the Leicester bandwagon, aren't we, where we want them to get Champions League football the way we wanted Leicester to get second and the way we want Leicester to win the league a few years ago. It'd just be great for a new name to be in there. And if they don't get it because of this, like Ross said, if they dropped 2 points because of this, it's so cruel. But like Ross said before, I just can't believe how we can all see it. We're sat, 50 odd miles away from wherever the game's being played. And we could see it and no one can see it. You can't just all these stoppages that are happening in the game now for 5 substitutions for water breaks. You're telling me they couldn't stop for another 10 seconds to go, right, VAR, just check that. Yeah, Oliver, just it was in. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we got that replay pretty much within 10 seconds. The one where he's clearly carried it over the line. Surely VAR have got the same video in their little gaff there sitting off in. Surely what they can just say.
It's common sense in communication, isn't it? Of someone just going, hang on, lads, like Jay just said, you made a mistake there. I think you need to go and look at that. Oh yeah, there's Sheffield United players that are all screaming. It's just got in. And I know players kind of do it to put pressure on the referee. Some part of him must have thought, well, Sam, just communicate with who's in charge. It's not like, I think Carragher put it quite well last night when he said, if he or a defender makes a mistake, you've got the goalkeeper to bail you out. Why is it they can't talk to each other like you just said? I'm just going like, you made a mistake. Like, we're all human, we all make mistakes, or we all rely on technology. Sometimes it doesn't work. I think a lot of people have found that out in the past 3 months. Technology fails on you, but like, come to a fair result that's reflective of what's happened in the game. If you're Sheffield United and like Jay said, you have 3 months off. Listen, we've done so well so far this season. We've had a break. Let's gather ourselves back and we go again. It just dents your motivation, your confidence probably in those players. Going, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, we've just scored a legitimate goal and not had it.
Yeah, I think you could tell from the Sheffield United manager that he was a bit hesitant to go over to the referee and like give him a good bollocking, which, if say this game would have happened just as what was going to happen back in March or whatever, I think that would have happened. But because it's like the first game back, I think everyone was a bit hesitant for it to be creating more of a drama than it should have been. But really, like we've all just summarised there, that could be huge in the race for the top 4. Like Chelsea aren't far ahead of Man United. They're only 1 point ahead of Sheffield United now, and it's really cruel for them, I think. And it's
also from Sheffield United's perspective. We're talking about them getting to Europe or a Champions League spot. If they've missed out on that goal, the financial implications that football clubs are going through at the minute, it might be a bit dramatic, but could potentially screw them.
Right. It was really good. Yeah, it's horrible.
Moving on slightly, I just want to get your thoughts on the fake crowd noise.
All for it.
Yeah, I was switching backwards from main event to Premier League on Sky Sports, and I was trying to think which one I preferred. But it did make me laugh when he'd had a shot on target and the keeper had gone back out, but then the crowd cheered, and I was thinking, oh, do you know what I mean? It's
a bit like a pantomime, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So yeah, that made me laugh. I mean, I'm all for it. I do. You sort of like, because you're focused on the pitch, you sort of don't pay attention to the seats anyway, do you, when you're normally watching the game? So yeah, I thought it was good. It just adds to the atmosphere, doesn't it? I must admit, I was listening to watching it on Premier League a lot more because I was trying to listen for the players swearing. So I thought this might be quite cool to listen to, but commentators just wouldn't shut up. I think they're talking more than normal now because of that situation. But yeah, I'm all for it, mate. I like it.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I think because obviously it's fake crowd noise. You could still hear the players over the noise, obviously, because it's not pumped through the whatever way they do it, the same way a genuine crowd would be. So you can still hear the players on the pitch anyway. So it was a nice blend for me. Obviously, like you said there, Jay, when there's shots on goal and it flies like 4 miles wide and the crowd are going, oh! Like, well, that's not. Who's clicking that button there, mate? You've clicked the wrong button there,
The only downside to it, like, there's some things that Sky obviously aren't going to put out as crowd noise, which you'd hear it. Fans, like the referee's a wanker, or do you know what I mean? There's just loads of fun stuff that you'd hear, especially at Liverpool probably as well. But I think it adds to the experience. This is the new normal, isn't it? A kind of standing at home. There's loads of people just going, this is shite, I don't like it, Would you want would you rather no football, or would you rather football with fake crowd noise? And to me, it's your experience at home, because that's your own way of watching it. I think it adds to it, like Jay said. Why you don't want to? And like, I get like trying to listen into what the managers are saying and players, and that, because I think sometimes it is dead interesting, but it's not beneficial to us, is it? It's not like they're saying a tactical thing. I'm going to write that down and go, Klopp's playing 4-2-3-1 there, and changing it halfway through.
It'd make our podcast better, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
Moving on.
Sorry, mate.
No, go on, Jay. Sorry, what are you saying?
I was just going to say, like, it's sort of pushing us into a new era of what we're going to be interactive-wise on the TV, isn't it? You've had so many monumental ways of talking about football and watching it. So, remember early 90s, you had Andy Gray's virtual reality computer, then you had Fan Zone, and then multicams when you pressed the red button and you could follow one player or you could just look behind the goal and all that sort of stuff. And it's like we said on the last show that the three of us did, where this Premflix thing and it's going to move forward. You know, the derby's going to have an interactive thing where you can vote for which chant you want. Do you want LA? Do you want Fields of Anfield Road? That type of thing. Again, it's all a bit wishy-washy for me. But again, it like Ross said, it's a part of the fun at the minute, and we've just got to get on with it. And whether we like it or not, football's back, and this is the way it's going to be for a long time.
Yeah. I want the Bobby song for the full 90 after this one, by the way. So let's get sorted on that.
But he's got a crescendo, so it starts off like quite quiet and just builds up and goes dead loud.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on slightly then to obviously the second game after the Villa game and all that controversy. And an easy win for Man City, as we all pretty much expected, really. But I just want to get your thoughts on this actual state of David Luiz. Like, how is it? What is? I put a tweet up going, David Luiz is the worst defender in the Premier League. A couple of people sent back one back. I'm not sure, you know. And then he made 2 mistakes straight away and got sent off. And I was like, there you go.
My mate's an Arsenal fan. Some girl I went to university with, and I texted her and was like, we started to line up and stuff. And I was like, it was about Ozil didn't start and Luiz didn't start. And I was like, that's them done at the club because they're both not injured. Something's going on. And then as soon as David Luiz came on, I texted her and went, liability. And she replied, red card incoming. And I was like, oh my God. But it's like, was it Brentford they played last week? And there was someone clipped him up of like, he was trying to ship it over 2 midfielders and he lost the ball and then he went and scored. And like, last night was like, you know, he's made the most mistakes leading to errors. He's been sent off at like the Etihad, Anfield, you know, where at the Emirates, like, and maybe even Old Trafford as well. You're thinking, that's why he didn't start. You can't trust him. And, you know, Arteta obviously had his, you know, he had to make the change and put him on. But like, it just doesn't seem like he cares or his head's not in it. And like, that's bad. And I think that's the reason why Chelsea got rid of him. If you look back at Chelsea and, you know, the Mourinho getting jibbed off or Conte getting jibbed off, I think he was one of those toxic players that were in that squad. Lampard's gone in and gone, I don't want that here. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I think wasn't it Gallagher who described him as like a defender, like you're playing on the PlayStation. He just doesn't know what he's doing. Like, he'll pick the ball up, there'll be 3 options on, and if it was Van Dijk or someone with a brain in the nut, they'd just pass it off. But he just tries a long ball and gives it away every time. Like, it must be so frustrating to watch as an Arsenal fan.
One of the funniest tweets I saw last night was David Luiz makes me thankful of Dejan Lovren.
Yeah.
Which kind of sums it up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
What did you make of the game as a whole? Obviously, it went the way we all expected it to.
I built myself up too much, I think. I was trying to take into account that the Etihad would be empty. Well, it is anyway, but, you know, I thought that would help. And I thought that maybe the break could do Arsenal a bit of good. And you know, all them things that are going in your head because you want to win the league on Sunday and stuff. I just want it closer than I do on Wednesday. But, yeah, it just went out as normal, didn't it? I think we all got into Twitter too much and replying rather than watching the game towards the halfway through it, didn't we? It was more replying to tweets and taking the piss out of Arsenal as we normally do because they were so shit. And yeah, it went as normal. Sterling gets a goal, doesn't he? Which is very lucky, but it's one of them. We just knew that would happen, and it made me laugh when they got. And they've closed the gap to 22 points now. Okay, Sky Sports. No.
I love that. Like you said, yeah, Jay, I was just on Twitter, pretty much just having a laugh at some of the tweets, and I love that one where there was the big screen with all the City fans on. They couldn't even fill the screen with fans, like the little segments where the fans were. There was little
technical issue. Do you know what? It was a technical issue because people kept dropping in and out, but then he changed it from video to still images. I don't even seen the tweet. It was when is it Garcia when he got kicked out, and there's a guy who must have been celebrating the goal. It looks like he's celebrating the guy lying on the floor. You're thinking, oh my God, who's taking that photo? Why have you put it out in the world?
The sour thing about that day, about last night, was the injury.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not heard anything today. Have you? Because it looked like it was his neck, because they were proper supporting his neck the moment he went down, and then he's had in a neck brace, his legs were tied together and everything, stopped the blood flow and stuff. And I just thought, oh, that looks nasty. And what pissed me off the most was Edison. He's just going, my hand. I just fucking walked away and didn't say, are you okay? Until he was about to be carried off the pitch. I thought.
Pep did it as well, didn't he? They wheeled him right in front of Pep. And then I saw someone tweet saying he didn't realise the cameras on him, otherwise he would have performed CPR himself.
Oh, fucking hell, what a shout.
I think from Man City's perspective, I think that's kind of what we expected. As like Jay said, you look at Arsenal. I thought, new manager, time to bond with his players, put some tactical, moves into their minds and what he wanted to do and work with them. Which again, his hand was forced with injuries. But like defensively, they look all over the place. I think they said on commentary last night. Like I didn't even realise Aubameyang was playing until they mentioned him on commentary in the 60th, 70th minute. Whereas Man City, talk about mentality. I think we spoke about this with Liverpool, how they'd handle the break. Man City are well-oiled machine. Kevin De Bruyne, like I love watching him last night. I don't care, like there'll be loads of people going, "Oh, it's just Man City players." Like if you like football, you should appreciate what Kevin De Bruyne is and what he does. Same with Raheem Sterling. I know he missed a few sitters and stuff, but like it's good to watch Manchester City. The only reason I don't like it is because they were, yeah, but they weren't. They're one of our rivals, modern day rivals.
I mean, right? We all three of us would take Kevin De Bruyne back in a heartbeat. Not back, we take him in a heartbeat, and a lot of us would take Sterling back to add that depth and all that sort of stuff, regardless of.
Yeah, to fill the bench.
Yeah,
fill the bench up, innit?
De Bruyne goes straight in. But yeah, like you said, mate, you just want to watch great football, don't you? We've all missed it. I think everyone is excited to see City play anyway because they do play great football, and we can't deny that.
Yeah, and I, like Ross just said, like I don't think Ozil was even in the squad, was he? Like it's mad when you think they did.
With like, nine subs as well.
Yeah, and it baffles. Like he's a creative midfielder. Like I understand maybe he's on the decline or whatever, and he doesn't fit tactically or whatever. But Jesus Christ, not a time to sort of Aubameyang. Like I don't think Arsenal had a shot on target all night, but Aubameyang was always on that left hand side, and he was always on.
Yeah.
In between Walker and Garcia, there was a ball on every time. I seen it like 3 or 4 times, and their midfielders didn't have the nous to play it through. They might have had a chance to get a goal, and it was. You could see he was frustrated. I was fucking frustrated. I was one with Arsenal to eventually score. But yeah,
it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? Everyone's like, "Oh, Arsenal might do something tonight." No. David Luiz has got other fucking plans for Liverpool fans winning the title at Goodison Park, isn't he?
It is. It is the whole.
That one with David. If there's a footballer that signifies 2020, and then just a picture of David Luiz looking like a gimp. So yeah, that is literally 2020 in a footballer. But anyway, go on, Jay.
City's next game is Burnley.
Yeah.
Before us.
So it's on Monday.
This is when we all change our AVIs to Chris Wood again on Twitter.
Yeah, I was going to leave that to then, Jay, but you've brought it up now, so we might as well chat about that. Right. They play Burnley on Monday. If we win on Sunday, I think we win the title, don't we? Is that the right match? Because my head was going getting cabbage trying to think about it.
We beat Everton and City lose on Monday, I think.
Yeah. Well, we know what we've got to do, haven't we, boys? Like you said, 2 more wins and we start on Sunday against the Everton. Yeah, we spoke off here, didn't we, about how the last match preview we did officially in the same room together was after Atletico and before the derby, mate. So I don't know if we'll just cut that bit into there now. We'll have a rest and we'll play that, and then we'll just do the ending. Yeah, do you want to do that?
No, because my score prediction, I want to change that.
Adrian would have been in goal.
Yeah, Adrian, we've now got the beautiful bearded bastard back, so I don't think we'll concede. But anyway, yeah, looking forward to Sunday, 7 p.m. kickoff. Score predictions, and well, let's go team predictions first, because I saw something from the Evening Standard today about Mo Salah wasn't pictured in training yesterday, and the club apparently remain quiet about why that was. If it comes to fruition that he does miss the game, who would you have in his place on that right hand side?
Go on, Ross.
See Minamino, maybe. I like to see him get a run out whether the right wing is his spot or not, or whether you move Mane to the other side and you try and put Minamino on the left. I don't know. I think Harvey Elliott, I'd love to see out there, but again, it's for a title-winning game in the derby. I think he'd love it. To be honest, I put a tweet out there. It's like, who would you play against? There, it's like the kids who's capable of doing it. They've done it before.
Yeah. I put Origi just to shit Pickford up.
I put Origi on the left, put Mane on the right. It's probably the right answer in that sense. Don't even put Origi on the left. Just put Origi next to Pickford for the whole game. Not next to him like that.
Yeah. I'm not entirely disrespectful to Everton at the end of the day, but they prove us right no matter what team we put out, they never beat us. So, I mean, fucking famous last words there. Just knock on wood there. But it's one of them, innit? I think the club are tight-lipped on it for a reason, but I can't see Mohamed Salah missing such a big game if it's for a very small, minor detail, especially when it's the first game back and he'll be chomping at the bit to top up the goal tally.
Yeah, the press conference is tomorrow at 1:30, so we'll know more by that anyway. But I think he missed training as a precaution. But I agree with Jay of like, you know, put him in bubble wrap, make sure he's fit for these games. And you got to remember as well, like 3 days later, 3 days later, there's another game.
Yeah,
Palace. You know what I mean? So you know, even if he can't start, we'll just leave him out with safety and make sure he starts against Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
we've got the squad depth and capabilities of players to come up against Everton.
That's me. We could, like you said there, Ross, we could put Mane over to the right and have Divock on the left, or you can throw Ox on the wing if you want to. You can throw Kopite there. There's so many options. But like you said, if Harvey ended up getting a shout, that would just be absolutely class, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have some score predictions on that one, because I think on the last video where I don't know, are you going to cut that one to this, Jay, or not? Is this worth doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Done now.
I think on the last one I said 2-1, I think, because I said, we'll concede one because we've got Adrian in goal, because I was being like a little sour bastard. I think you said 3-1, Jay. So yeah. I'm changing mine to 2-0, by the way. What are you going with?
I'm changing mine to 1-0. I'm just because it might be cagey, it's a derby, regardless of whether there's people in that stadium or not, and it's the first game back, I'm just going for a cheeky 1-0 win. But I'd love it to be a 1-0 win where it's like the Mane 92nd minute at Goodison a couple of years ago, or the Origi 96th minute one. I'd love it to be something like that. Something dodgy. Give me a dodgy goal and another dodgy win against Everton, I'll take that.
You pick for throwing it in again.
Yeah. He kicks it on Digne's backside and it goes in the back of the goal, something like that. You know, best left back in the world scores for us. I'll take an own goal. 1-0.
Go ahead, Ross. What are you going with?
I'll go 3-1. I think Jay's right in one sense, but it's like it's all Everton have got to play for. This is their cup final. What have they got to win the season apart from delaying Liverpool winning the league? You know, last season when we drew 0-0, it was like, that's the game where you lost the league, but you know, we drew other games and we lost one. So I mean, that's their only claim to happiness is, well, they'll be happy that Liverpool can't win the league there in the first place.
Yeah.
But also, you know, it's difficult because I thought the same at Arsenal of having that break, like I said before, and you know, a new manager be able to work with his players and implement new ideas and whatever else. I'd like to think Carlo Ancelotti's a lot better manager than that, and he'll get something out of those players. Obviously, I think they're struggling with injuries. I think Walcott's injured, Gbamin's injured, Delph, whether that's good or a bad thing, he's doubtful as well.
Yeah, as well himself, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, he's in a very difficult position. But then again, like, you know, there's probably, I would have said there's people playing for the futures at that club. But again, things have changed in the past 3 months so rapidly. Of like, they can't go into the transfer market like most other clubs. So you know, it's difficult for them.
It's probably, I think I said it on the last preview we did. It's probably better that there's no crowd, because at Goodison, obviously, it's usually like fever pitch. It's loads of sour blues screaming at the Liverpool players, trying to put them off and whatever else. So
punching players, the kids in their hands.
Yeah, throwing pound coins and all that. So usually the better technical teams will obviously be doing better while there's no fans. We've seen it last night with Man City where they just tore Arsenal apart basically. But yeah, I think it might be a closer game than we expect. Like Ross just said there, I think they've got a lot to prove, and this is their cup final, isn't it? So it might be more of a tricky game than we'd expect them.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And like I said, that's why I said with a prediction, you've got to be really cagey with these types of occasions. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be getting drunk all day with it being Father's Day, and I can watch every fucking game because I'm allowed to, because it's Father's Day, and I will be sat, you know, getting very, very merry by the time that game kicks off, and hopefully we'll all be getting absolutely pissed because then we'll be 3 points away from fucking winning this league finally.
We're in such a privileged position as well that we're thinking, if we beat them at Goodison, then if Man City play on Monday, then we could win it then, but then we could win it on Wednesday. Well, we've got so many options. What would you be ideal? Would you want obviously City to win on the Monday and then us to win it on the Wednesday at Crystal Palace at Anfield? That would be, I think, pretty much everyone's ideal, wouldn't it?
What a nice little twist that would be from Chris Istanbul to actually beating Crystal Palace to win the actual league and then get a guard of honour against Man City as well.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I think that's perfectly put. That's the quote we're going to use.
Yeah.
Tweet for the advert of this. Istanbul reversed.
Yeah.
That's fucking. I'm sold now, Ross. That's it, done.
Istanbul Demption, that's what you can call it.
That's exactly what it is.
We'll just clip that bit and then we'll just put it on loop for the 2 minutes 20 and we'll just keep putting it on.
Yeah.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because I was chatting to my mate over the weekend and he was saying like, it's the most Liverpool thing, all this, we're about to win the league and there's so many things that are getting out of the way. And I just say, well, listen, mate, you look back 10 years ago in October 2010 when we were 24 hours away from going into administration. If I said to you then that all that shit's going to happen, we're going to be up and down, Gerrard's going to slip, unfortunately, and and we're going to experience all that sort of bollocks, and then Klopp's going to come along and we're going to get on the cusp of winning the league, and a fucking pandemic's going to come in and delay it another 3 or 4 fucking months. Would you have taken it? And you're like, yeah, I'll fucking take it right now. Of course you would. I think that's the best scenario for me, Istanbul redemption. I like it. And then a guard of honour at the Etihad, which will piss everybody off. Oh, yes, give me that.
Well, I think that's pretty much the perfect way to end the podcast there. Istanbul turned on to looking ahead.
Well done. Well done, Ross. That's it, man.
Give us a few.
I'm going to trademark that before Liverpool do it.
Yeah, throw a few likes and give us a subscribe if you like the video, and we'll see you next time.